All right. Hello. We just had our minds blown by the guest who is coming up in a few minutes. He is a magician, also a mental health clinician, and you are a magician.
Well, I may dabble in some magic, and, since John is going to be here, I thought that I would kind of razzle-dazzle us with a little card trick of my own. I actually brought some cards
Yeah.
that are right here. Would you like to be my... What do you call it? Sidekick? What do they say?
Yeah.
Assistant. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they say in these modern times.
These cards are wildly shuffled. We shuffled them ahead of time.
Uh-huh. Yep. Okay.
I just need you to pick a card.
I will. Okay.
And while you pick this card, we're going to talk about some mental health as well.
Okay. So here is... Can I show
everybody the card.
Okay. All right.
Okay, you're going to take 2 magic cards. It doesn't matter what they are, but don't look at them.
In addition to this magic card. Sweet. Okay.
Okay.
This one.
Okay.
And this one.
Yep.
I did not look.
Okay. You're going to shuffle those cards together.
With the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And as you shuffle, I'm going to tell everybody about our mental health screenings at MHA.
Yes. So one of the amazing things that MHA does is provide really high quality mental health education for your market. It's Middle Tennessee, but there's MHA everywhere across the country.
Absolutely.
And this is when I stop talking and you
well,
save me.
MHA is a national nonprofit. We are out of Nashville and we're MHA, the Mid-South. But nationally we do mental health screenings, which are really helpful because you can go online, answer a few questions, and it gives you the resources that you need to take the next steps in your mental health. And I think it's really important to get education from viable sources. And I think the best place, of course, in my heart, MHA, but MHA is the way to go for your education because you know that it's going to be research-based.
Research-based. It's so comprehensive. It's in English and Spanish?
Yeah, so we do have some Spanish screenings online as well, and our website does translate into Spanish for our community.
Okay. Drop your website real quick.
Yeah, MHAmidsouth.org.
Okay, now blow my mind.
Okay.
Unless it doesn't work.
You're going to take one of those cards.
One.
And you're going to put it right on top of this pile.
All right. This one feels right.
Okay, now you're going to take one more.
Okay.
Oh, okay. My father taught me this trick. Shout out to my dad.
Shout out to...
Hopefully it works.
him.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you a few questions. Is it okay if the answer is no?
Okay.
Okay, is your card in this pile? It's okay if the answer is no. Do you not remember your card?
It is.
It's in here?
Yeah.
Is it in here?
It is.
Is it in this one?
Yeah, I did have to think about it. It's been a long day. But okay. I'm confident.
You've got a moment to give a plug if you'd like to while I set this up.
Come to the Mental Health Marketing Conference. It's in October here in Franklin. We're at Harbor and Union. We love Harbor and Union. If you're shooting a podcast, you should maybe think about shooting one here because it's incredible. The team is great. The vibe is the vibe. And there we go.
Okay.
The magic is intense.
I'm going to tap this right here.
Okay.
So we can see. Okay, now I just need you to blow on it for some magic. Thank you. Okay. Are you ready to have your mind blown? Is that your card?
Yes! Well done.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Just rises from the deck.
Forever.
You live at the podcast studio. That's the other upside. Sarah's always here. Well, we will be right back with another magician who is also doing incredible things in mental health and the world of magic. Razzle dazzle. All right, welcome back to The Boost. I am thrilled to be here with our guest, John Midgley. John, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm doing well.
All right.
You've already done some things that I was 2 feet away from and was confident in my ability to understand physics, and yet magic happened right in front of my eyes.
Good. I did my job.
You did a great job. We're going to get into all the things you do. You're a wonderful fit for this podcast. It is kind of a niche, and here you are, mental health professional, and you're at the Magic of Therapy, LLC. But before we get into the work you do, tell us your virtual hug. Tell us somebody or something you're grateful for today.
I'm going to mention my son, who is 6. He is on the autism spectrum, and we have had ups and downs, and he has taught me more about how to exist than a lot. I just love him so much, and he is just a blessing.
What's one thing he's taught you that kind of jumps to mind?
That people interpret things different ways, and he processes information in different ways, so that when I come across somebody who's frustrated, understanding that I might not be speaking a language that they're understanding, and there are other ways to say the same thing, which really helps set up a better environment for people to thrive.
That's beautiful. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Can't top that. Yeah, not that I would try.
It's
but that's
not
beautiful.
about topping, though, right?
You're right. You're right. Yeah. Tell us your shameless plug, whether it's the Society of American Magicians or the Magic of Therapy. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a psychotherapist. I've been serving Middle Tennessee since 2009. I have a strong passion for crisis situations. I really get really hyper-focused when things are intense, and which has allowed me to meet a lot of different people and navigate a lot of different situations. And it's just time after 20 some years that been in Middle Tennessee since 2009, with practicing in Michigan before then. So over 20 years of experience, and really ready to start my own practice, and hence the Magic of Therapy LLC.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Are you going to be doing magic in the sessions?
So not necessarily. Yeah. So my approach to therapy, and I use a lot. So the guest you just had on from California,
Moshumi Sen.
Exactly. Yes. So when she was talking, she was awesome. I mean, she was pulling out Erickson, like quoting Erickson, and it was awesome, right? I collect a lot of different styles. So DBT is a big skill set of mine, and CBT, of course. I studied Jungian therapy, or Jungian theory, Erickson, of course. And it basically, there's a hodgepodge. And what we have found is that certain modalities will work for certain people in different ways. And so everybody's unique and different. And so my approach is to figure out what inspires the person that I'm working with, what makes sense to them. So as I was talking before, when you were showing me your magic, which was very good, Sarah, by the way.
Thank you.
That we want to set up an environment for success. And so that's what therapy becomes magical if you can set an environment up so it's easier to do, knowing that the work is going to be hard, but you have to make that space really safe and really notify people what to expect, and to give permission. If this doesn't feel right, if it's too much, please speak up and we'll recalibrate. So I always am letting people know I'm there for them and to assist them. I'm not there to judge or tell them what to do.
That's nice, making a space that's like makes people comfortable, and it's what you can control.
Yeah.
Like focusing on those things.
Right. Kind of going back to what we were talking about with my son too. You know, people hear things differently.
Well, you have to tell us, when did the magic start?
The magic started for me in 99. I was in Kalamazoo, Michigan, studying music composition at Western Michigan University, going through a really bad breakup. Okay. You know, that first love breakup.
That's all things start.
Yeah. Oh, man, life is over. And then David Blaine was on TV, and I was like, what's this? And I saw it, and it was perfect timing. I needed a reminder that there are things that are amazing still out there. The impossible is out there, and it just really inspired me. And I looked up a local magic shop near there called the Timid Rabbit Magic and Masquerade Shop, which is closing next year. Retiring. So he's been serving it. What I didn't know is he was one of the top 250 close-up magicians in the entire world. And so this guy became my mentor, and to this day is still my mentor. So that was the start.
Close-up magic, because what you showed was so like, you couldn't even believe. It's one thing if it's really far away and there's like room for to hide things, but
yeah,
like,
when
what
it's
you did was
right
amazing.
in your face. Yeah, it's different. Seeing magic live is different than YouTube or anything else. It's a different experience.
And you practice like a hobby too, just like to.
So I'm also a professional magician. I perform at House of Cards. I'm one of their resident magicians, and then I also perform across the country. So I've been fortunate to get to do a lot of things. I do art. I'll be creative.
Cool. Our
Quite
guest.
the celebrity.
I know, quite the celebrity.
How exciting.
I know. We're in rarefied air here.
I look at you guys. You guys are a celebrity. That's how I think of you. I listen to your podcast for crying out
It
loud.
was cool of you to listen
Steve's
to the
celebrity,
podcast.
Of course, yeah, you just did magic for me. It was awesome.
Yeah. Let's all switch seats. Yeah, no, it's so fun. It's magic delights me. And one of our guests, Todd Schlosser, was on, and he said every time it's date night, he says like, "Oh, can we go to House of Cards?" So you perform there?
Yep, pretty
Yeah.
regularly.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Do you want to show us something? Could you do a trick? Could you do like a?
Sure, I can. You have a deck of cards, right?
We do. That is
Yeah.
like.
Do, right here.
I thought it was not magic, but Sarah showed us that it is
It
actually
is.
magic. But yes.
When used appropriate.
Yes.
I don't want to touch it. You have it here, right there.
Oh.
All right, go ahead. Take the cards and shuffle them. The audience has no idea what just
I
happened.
also love the timid rabbit. I mean, could you pick a cuter name for the
So
magician
sweet.
show?
Oh, I'm picking a card.
Yeah,
Okay.
he can't touch.
No, you're supposed to shuffle and mix them up.
Shuffle.
Just
Shuffle.
so I don't know what order they're
Okay,
in.
here we go.
And then
Because he already knows.
So while they're doing that, to set this up and why this is so impressive and crazy is that, so given that that's a full deck of cards with 52 cards in it, the combinations that you can shuffle a deck of cards are astronomical. So it's 52 factorial. So 52 times 51 times 50 times 49 times
We
40.
do have the jokers in there. Is that going to make a difference?
Jokers can be, I would leave, well, if they're two different colors, that'd be fine. I don't want you to think that
I
we're...
want to ruin the trick with our jokers.
No,
So I
then
take the jokers out.
You can keep them in, and it'll just be
Well, there's that
54
one that you missed
factorial.
it. Go back.
It's okay if
back.
it's unique, right?
Yeah, that's fine. So
Okay,
even if
we'll take 'em out.
it's just astronomical. Like there are more combinations of a deck of cards than there are breaths of air in our known universe. Like that's how insane the combinations are. And so we're gonna try something completely random and see if all the stars
do
align.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
I feel good about this.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
May I see the deck? I won't shuffle them
yeah.
again. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you select a card, please.
Okay.
And then Steve, you
Do I
also
look at
take
it?
one. Please look at it and remember it. The trick will not be as cool if you don't remember it. All right, you got
Do
it?
my best.
And you can,
I see hers?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she-
You guys can help remember it each.
Oh, I'm showing the audience. Are you?
I did that too.
Oh, I can't see it. As long as I can't see it.
Got it.
And this is not my. We'll get them in some different spots.
Okay.
All right, and then I'll take
I don't
yours.
want this
yeah.
to be too easy.
Well, I'm not actually going to do it. Steve, you're going to do it.
Yes.
So I'm going to
got
come
the
over to you.
magic
Well,
touch.
actually, I'll explain it and I'll just hand it to
Okay.
you. I'm going to just mix them up a little bit. Is that cool?
Yeah, cool.
All right, and then let's see. What I want you to do is I'll hand you the deck and start dealing cards into a pile face down.
Sure. Face
Okay.
down. Here we
Yep.
go. Just top.
Yep. Well, yeah, go ahead. And you can actually grab them from the middle or the bottom or clumps of cards. But whatever cards that you set in that pile are the only cards we're going to use.
Okay. So I can just do this as long as I want.
Yeah, or you can grab from the middle, the bottom. It
The
can be
middle?
clumps. Yeah,
Okay.
doesn't matter. You can mix it up
We
if
can
you
just
want.
go
Take some from the
wild.
bottom, too.
Yeah,
Get-
for
get
sure.
after
Get some. Here we go. I'm getting out.
And then
after.
whenever you're happy with that pile,
happy
set the
now.
other cards aside.
Okay.
And go ahead and move the jokers and things out of the way.
Sure.
And square up your pile of cards that you set
You
up.
got it.
So this is just like craziness, just
This is
randomness. So
random.
go ahead, pick up the deck of cards.
Okay.
And deal them in two piles face down, back and forth, till all the cards are down. And we're just randomly mixing and shuffling and moving things around. I have not touched the deck, right? Steve's doing all the work. So what this is going to do is this is going to leave us two selections out of all of these cards.
Okay.
What are the odds that even one of those is a selection that you guys picked?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Like one in. I mean.
We already
it's like
went through
1
it.
in
It's
30 or
52
whatever.
factorial. It's
Yeah.
insanity. So go ahead, turn over the top of one of the cards. Let's see if we got one of them.
Let's see.
So excited.
Is that it? I haven't seen any of the cards. I don't know what they are.
That's my card.
I legit don't know what the cards are.
Steve, you just did a magic trick.
No, we're not done, Steve, because there's another card that you
Not even
selected.
close to gun.
There's another choice.
It's not here though. Good
I
night.
Is that it?
It is.
That's
And
unreal.
this is your deck of cards. I didn't do the work. You did everything. I mean, I would normally just show how all the cards are different, but that is absolutely insane. Oh, that was the hair.
That was the hair that
Yes,
was on my
yes, she pulled this out. Very cute.
I pulled that off of her
John,
shoulder.
that is mind blowing.
Unreal.
So that was an example of jazz magic effect I came up with on the fly at House of Cards.
Cool.
And I found that it's really great, so we use it all the time.
How
now.
cool to do it through somebody else too.
Yeah,
Wow, because I was totally in control of like all those decisions.
correct.
That's
Like
super weird.
thinking back through all of that. That was.
It's so fun to not understand something.
And that's
And they're not all too.
they're your cards. That's your deck of cards. I love that you had to look at it. And that's the power of magic, is that cognitive shift, right? How often do we as adults, as kids, it's really easy. Things are magical and fun, and it's okay to not know.
Yeah.
But as you get older, a lot of other factors come into play, and because of, if we go to root causes of survival instincts, you got to go on to the next thing. I can't sit here and linger because something might come and kill me, right? That's my fight or flight. It's got to be intact there. So magic does a huge cognitive shift if done correctly. It makes a person's brain go like a record scratch, and that provides an opportunity of openness. Maybe I don't know. And I think that's a great state to be in. It is for me, at least.
Wow.
I'm still shook.
I'm humbled.
I'm humbled and shook.
Well, let me tell you a little bit more of how that came, because you were asking me how magic and therapy came together. So there was, I never thought about combining the two together until a long time ago. I was working with some youth that were court-ordered because of dangerous behaviors and things. And so one of the young men I was working with it would not talk to me. Like, all right, I didn't look like him. I didn't come from the culture he came from. He's court-ordered to see me. I get it, right? So we're just sitting there because he has to. And so I just start shuffling a deck of cards, not saying anything, but doing like fancy things, just enough to get his attention. So when I see that he notices that, I start fanning the deck, and I share with him the secret of the deck of cards. And that is, are you familiar that the deck of cards is consistent with our known universe? It's designed to kind of match our known universe.
No, what do you mean?
I did not know that.
So like, for instance, how many weeks are there in a year?
52.
How many cards are there?
52.
Yeah, okay. And then how many seasons are there in a year?
4.
How many suits are there in a deck of cards?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, we're not done yet. There's also 13 lunar cycles a year. There are 13 cards in each suit. There's also red for day, black for night. And my favorite thing, if you add all the cards' values up together with like 2 + 9 would be 11, Jack would be 11, Queen 12, King 13. You add all those things up together, the deck adds up to 364. And then you add 1 for the Joker, that's 365. Same number of days there are in a year. And so it's at this point that I'm talking to this young man. I'm sharing with him. He's not talking to me. I'm just demonstrating that. And so I don't talk about the second Joker. And he's a smart young man. And he's just like, what's the other Joker for? So now I got him right where I want him, right? He was not talking. He just asked me a question. That is a 180. So I turned the tables back on him. What do you think it means? Or why do you think it would be there? And he said leap year. And I was like, exactly right. Leap year. And so that was my way in for this young man. And he didn't want to talk about his issues. And so we worked at, we did therapy essentially through card magic, and we would tell stories through cards, and I would teach him skills and techniques which helped kind of develop his own self-confidence and things of that nature. But yeah, there's a little bit of insight to that.
Wow.
That is
How cool.
fascinating. How very cool.
How way to like get a little way in, like using that magic to connect with somebody and start the combo.
And you just hit the nail on the head. So that's kind of what I try to do, but not necessarily with magic. So it's, what are you interested in? And can that be applied to the work that we're doing? So magic galvanizes me, gets me excited, not necessarily everybody. I might be working somebody who's really into, I don't know, name anything. What are you really into?
Sketching.
Sketching. All right. So what, do you have a favorite artist or type of sketching you like to do? Are you a crosshatcher caricature artist?
I like just doing I'll sketch wherever I'm at.
Okay. So now we could utilize, potentially, if you and I were working together, how can we utilize this great ability that you like to do and implement it into the work that you want to do to make sense of your life and how you want to change it. So that's the magic of therapy. It's not literal magic necessarily, but just the wonder of, man, things are so much easier if you like it.
And like what you mentioned earlier too about like sometimes your language might not be matching up, and like some people are visual learners, so it's like, to me, like sketching is a way to like get out what I'm thinking, but I don't have the words exactly.
Exactly.
And yeah, connecting with people on another level maybe gives you that connection to get on the same language.
Well, there's a lot you can do with art. So I have this kind of weird collection I have. So I'm also a published illustrator as well, and I've done magazine covers and things.
Is that your art on
Yeah,
there?
this is
cool.
So,
Hold it up to that.
Oh,
camera.
yeah. It's my pick a card, any card. The man who knows, sort of, kind of. Well, this is for a stage show that I'm working on. That's a mental health magic show, actually.
Awesome.
But that's a whole other thing.
We want to hear about that too.
Yeah.
Where were we at, though?
Yeah.
I forget which topic.
We might want to book you for
drawing.
the mental health
Drawing,
marketing
yeah.
conference.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Oh my goodness.
So drawing, so I have a collection of, I do unique artwork of magicians, and then I have this unique collection of them signing the artwork, which is really cool. But what they don't know, and if they listen to this, they will know, is I actually analyze where they put their signature and how big it is and the orientation of it. There's a lot you can learn from how people write and what they do in their art and how they display things. And it's interesting because it matches perfectly, like the analysis. So art is a great way, because not only can you have the person share with you what it means to them, but you can also see, especially if you've studied this, you can see things that are hidden in that artwork that let you know how a person is feeling about themselves. So for one instance, somebody that I know who is bigger than life but has very little self-confidence, he wrote his signature on the artwork so tiny and in the corner. And then I got this other guy who just, fills up the whole thing, and it just lets you know how they're feeling about themselves. I don't want to be a bother. I want to be here in the corner. I don't want to mess anything up. I'm great. Life is great. Let's enjoy, So there's so much.
Oh no, I sign my stuff real tiny in the corner. I do.
Are you afraid that you might be impacting someone?
Well, I do have that moment when I'm about to sign it that I'm like, once I put it here, it's there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to be thoughtful of where it's going to go. I don't want to ruin the artwork. But yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe not. And the nice thing is with therapy, that doesn't have to be concrete, because it's not the same for everybody. Some people might just sign their stuff small. And so in therapy, if doing it right, you ask the person, I noticed this, and this is how I interpret it. Do you see it that way? This is really great, because the person go, no. And then no, it's not. They're right. You always you follow their direction. So.
Or it's subconscious, because when you say that too, it's like there is a little bit of truth to that. So I think sometimes subconscious things people might not actually realize until you point it out.
And that's that's kind of more what happens. People will typically say no, and then 2 weeks later be like, hey, I've been thinking about this. Because we all need time to process and make sense of things.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
That's a great example.
So you have this delivery and this like stage presence and sort of a story that you tell, and a lot of our audience has to get on a stage at different points, or they have to be in front of the board or whatever. Like, what do you take from like applicable? Because you can control a room, like you've got us
now,
all like hooked. Like
now I can.
What are some of the fundamentals of that?
I would say knowing how to navigate anxiety is the key component for myself. And so I still get nervous and anxious before things, not very much, because I'm doing it so frequently. So
and
practice.
If this is related, you also talked a little bit about imposter syndrome, like in the prep. Yeah, anxiety and that. Yeah, go into
tell us more.
Give us your how do you falter, John? Tell us.
All of your knowledge.
No, we're all human. Well, in all of our paths are different too. So other people have other ways of navigating these things. For me, it was understanding the why. So why am I feeling so anxious and overwhelmed? And then realizing, it's because I care so much and I want to make sure I do a good job. And that's why I'm so nervous, because I don't want to mess anything up. So then I kind of do therapy with myself of, well, have you done everything that you need to do and that you can do? And okay, if you're still anxious in the middle, is it going to be the best it can be? And I just kind of get into a mental state where I'm just okay. And then right before I get into a different mental state of essentially putting on armor, and then I'm ready to go. And it doesn't matter at that point. So.
And that's a visual actual exercise you go through, the armor thing.
Oh yeah. Well, and so this is part of my armor sometimes.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you brought it up. I was curious.
But I don't always have, and there's another ring I sometimes wear, but I don't have to wear it. And it's just, I don't know, we, for whatever reason, put value on certain things. And so it has kind of an emotional meaning to me. And so I like it. And it reminds me of that state. And so hence my armor.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and the math and the triangle and the 13 times 4, and like there's a lot of, I don't know if it's called numerology or just like the power of math that gets very magically artistic pretty quick if you start to look deeply into it.
The truth is everything's magic all of the time. So if we want to go just science, like this is how I remind myself how I'm so thrilled and happy to meet people and talk to people, because to me, everybody is unique as a star, because we are literally made from stars, from galaxies, not from our galaxy, but from other galaxies.
Yeah.
That's how we're all made up. The fact that we're here and talking to me is mind-boggling.
Not just stars, but you could argue potentially still shooting out from that event. We're still traveling at that speed through space. It's like, oh, that's very active.
Particle physics theory definitely suggests that. Yeah.
We're getting nerdy in here.
Oh, I'm a huge nerd.
We're all just matter from a star that's exploded.
Let's go.
I love this.
It's true. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Have you read any Michio Kaku? Any hyperspace?
I have not. No.
It's fascinating. He basically breaks the universe into, like there's the Einstein theory of relativity. He adds like 8 more dimensions. So that's like 11 dimensions.
I'll have to.
It's fascinating. It basically puts together a believable argument for time travel.
Is it the fabric, the space-time fabric woven black hole theory?
He uses that. Yeah.
Sorry, we got really
Wow.
nerdy.
I'm sure you have.
I didn't think you were going to bring it up. There's truth to some, like we could time travel at some point.
Physically, people way smarter than me take it very seriously. And so I think, well, I have to take it seriously. I mean, I don't know.
There's a I forget
kind of
the name of the
exciting.
particle, but there's a particle that is theoretical of how one could jump back in time.
So
Wild.
what happens when it, and this probably has never happened to you, but what happens when it goes wrong?
Sure, no, it goes wrong all the time.
Okay, what are your systems, or what do you do when it goes wrong?
Pick up those cards, shuffle them.
No, they're like,
No, we're gonna do it. No. This is an example of when it goes wrong.
okay,
right?
here we go.
So, you just grab any card from anywhere and don't let us see it, and then don't let me see it, and then I'm going to tell you what it is, okay? This is wild. No, this is when it goes wrong. Remember, this is when it goes wrong.
Because you know how to make it go wrong, and then you're gonna make it.
No, I'm not setting you up for failure.
No,
I'm setting you up for success.
Okay, I have them.
Yeah, just look at one,
Okay.
whatever one you want. You got it?
I got it.
All right. Your card is the 7 of Hearts.
No,
What was your card?
the 3 of Diamonds.
I guess you picked the wrong one then. That's how you deal with it. It's not a big deal.
Oh, nice.
That's funny.
We get to have
You get to just
fun and
move on,
play. Yeah. So,
Well, the whole
but,
idea is
but
to be
likely,
entertained.
if I was at House of Cards, that card is showing up again.
Oh, yeah. No, I believe it. I believe it. All right. We're going to be back with much more magic with John right after this. At Turn Productions, we craft experiences that connect, engage, and inspire. They feed the mind, they fill the heart, and they fuel connectivity. From dynamic conferences to powerful podcasts, we bring ideas to life through our proven process of planning, production, and promotion. So your audience doesn't just listen, they remember. Ready to make an impact? Let's build something unforgettable together. Visit turn.productions to get started. All right, welcome back into The Boost. We're here with John Midgley, and we're going to talk a little bit of marketing. So you have your own private practice.
Yeah.
And would love to hear just in today, 2025, what are you doing to, build up your client or patient base, and how's that going? What are you experimenting with? Tell us a little bit about the marketing side.
Yeah, so it's really exciting and surprising how well things are going. You don't necessarily expect that when you go out on your own. So I'm still in that transitional period, but I have started the private practice, and really what I've done is, utilize the main things, Psychology Today, make sure your website is up to date and appropriate, and that the information is there, that you're easily accessible and found. Even the system that I have set up, people online can set up 15-minute consultations immediately. So just trying to make things as easy and accessible for people as well, especially if somebody's going through a hard time. They don't want to jump through hoops. So trying to make that as simple as possible is probably a top priority. The other thing, and this is just was amazing, because I didn't expect to build a practice so fast, but really it's reputation and authenticity. And so I've had a lot of people that I do consults with, and I'm shocked because they always want to meet with other people, as they should, they want to be comfortable, but they always seem to be picking me. And I think it's probably because hopefully there's a genuineness coming across. And so people know what they're getting into if they want to work with me, and how I operate. That's the other thing. I try to really make clear, what the mission is, so to speak. So that's been my top priority. And I've worked, I've developed programs for Vanderbilt. So I got to work with their psychiatrists. And so I'm close friends with a lot of these people. And also at the Mental Health Co-op, developed a program there, and then helped Ellie Mental Health in Murfreesboro get started as well. So I know a lot of these people, and they know me. And talk about magic. To just start building a private practice and not tell anybody except a couple people, and all of a sudden, hold on, give me a minute. That's incredible.
I appreciate that you said the thing about making it easy for people to make appointments and connect with you, because that is such a barrier. Is like you have an issue and you really want to talk to someone, and then you have to go through this whole process of finding and getting the appointment, and then the appointment's 2 months away, so that's awesome that you have that. Especially
for the younger, think college students. So they're so used to online kind of things, and things are faster. And so I set up an option so people can go on, okay, looks like I'm in a network. I'd like to talk to this guy. I click a button, I type my name, and an appointment set that I don't have to worry about paying for, and then we'll figure out next steps. And I'm there to help too. I'm not, I want to genuinely make sure you get to where you're going to have the most chance for success. So that may not be with me. That may be with somebody else. And luckily, there's a network of us. I know a lot of other therapists, and we refer to each other.
You mentioned in the first segment, you thrive in crisis, or those moments. Do you have an ideal customer profile that kind of connects to that? Or like you said, you can't help everyone. Who do you want to help?
So there's the main reason why I even went into mental health is when I was going through, I shared with you guys in 99, I was initially going to school for music. And so I have I have a passion for those young people who are navigating from adolescence to adulthood, because that's a very there's a lot going on during that time. It's difficult to talk to parents, and you don't want to share everything. And so if somebody has a place like that, they can really explore their thoughts and what they're going through. To me, I think you can save a lot of hurt and a lot of self-medicating and a lot of lost years if caught early. So that's my passion. I do also have a passion for people who are in crisis, and a lot of those patients get stuck in hospital systems, not being able to get treatment. And so I have a plan. My wife calls it Bridgely, the Bridgely approach. But hopefully soon to help with those patients who are stuck, to see if maybe there's something we can do to help get them treatment faster, as opposed to just sitting there wondering what's going on.
I'm thinking about reality and hallucinations, or getting out of touch with reality. There's an aspect of that can happen in mental health.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I've worked with a lot of people who have suffered with that. I don't do any magic for people who are going through that because it can be really discombobulating.
Absolutely.
So yeah, no. But yeah, and that's a lot of times you're connecting that person with a nurse practitioner or a psychiatrist to evaluate medications. But then again, those new psychosis can be caused by a lot of different things. One of the most commonly misinterpreted things as a psychotic break is a urinary tract infection. So people can have hallucinations from a UTI, and they're like, this person has to go to a psych hospital. Like, hold on, let's do a UA and just check. And then, oh, wait, they have a UTI. I bet you treat that, psychosis goes away.
Yeah.
Well, we at MHA, we support caregivers for dementia.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like when someone's exhibiting symptoms of dementia, that's the first thing you check is like if they have a UTI, because it really does give you those symptoms, those mental symptoms.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Our bodies are so interconnected. It's so interesting.
Super connected. Yeah. And it's a little bit different for different people. The same symptoms can be different underlying root causes or comorbidities or things like that co-occurring. Where are you taking yourself? Like, what's your next? I want to get back to the magic because I love it so much. Do you have that white rabbit trick that you're working on, or like pushing yourself? You have to probably keep practicing and growing. Is there something out there for you that you're chasing?
Oh yeah, so I have a mental health magic show that I'm building, and I have hired even some really in the magic community big names to help me develop it. And so it's going to be a stage show. I'm so excited, and it's funny. So my cup is generally the background, but here it says the Magnificent instead, and it's actually this illustration is much larger with more angels and they're not devils per se. They're troublemakers maybe. Yeah. So yeah, this huge grandiose thing. But the thing that I'm working on for that I think is going to be really cool is there's a routine I've come up with called 13 Reasons Why Not. And I'm so excited about it. So it deals with self-medicating. It deals with unhealthy ways of dealing with things, addressing burning bridges, and then it all gets undone and it gets all put back together when you realize that you're not alone, that there are these other things, that you are important. And so coming back to why it says the Magnificent on the bottom, it's not Midgely the Magnificent, although that's what I want people to think initially. But the end of the show is going to be like, no, I'm just Midgely. You guys are magnificent. And a constant reminder of like people forget, like they're important.
Do you share healthy coping skills like in that show?
It's not
do you call a magic show a show? Right?
Yeah, it's not a therapeutic kind of teaching. You could do that. So this is more of a show to get people to think differently and process and maybe reach out on their own, or maybe they'll just enjoy it. Man, that was fun. That's great. All of that's awesome.
Yeah.
But you could do that. I do actually use some techniques or things for mindfulness activities. You guys familiar with mindfulness? To help zero you in.
Yeah.
So like it's not a magic trick per se, but a coin roll. I normally use a Morgan dollar from 100 some odd years ago, and I just kind of the weight of it, and I just focus just on that. It can really kind of calm and zero you down. So anybody listening, if you've got racing thoughts or you're worried, here's a simple technique you can do. You don't have to do a coin roll. If you've got a fan, if you have anything around you, something you can just focus in on, even if it's your fingernail, it can be anything. Easier with a fan, easier with a candle. Focus on it and tell your brain, I'm only going to focus on this. It is extremely difficult to do. But the more you practice it, the more you can learn and build that strength to be able to do it more on command. And what that does is it gives your brain a rest from all of the worry that's going on. So a lot of times I talk to people when they're stuck in this circle. You're running an emotional marathon. Is it realistic to keep running an emotional marathon forever?
Yeah. mindfulness is hard. Like if you try like meditation even,
Yeah, exactly.
like
But that's
sitting
a
there
form.
and telling yourself, I'm just going to count and not think about anything. And as soon as I think about something, I'm going to go back to one. You don't get very far.
No.
At least I don't get very far.
It takes practice.
It does.
It takes practice to do that. Yeah. Self-care takes work.
Well, John, thanks for coming in. This has been a delight to talk
Yeah,
with
so
you.
sweet.
Any last words? Any last things to share?
Thank you for doing this. I think this is great. I do want to share with you, I'm reading Reggie Ford's book, PTSD. I'm on chapter 5.
Oh.
I will say to anyone who's listening to this, especially if you are a therapist or mental health professional who is not familiar with growing up in a rough environment and learning what that normal looks like, I suggest everybody, there's an audiobook to it too. That's how I'm processing it. I read that book, absorb that book. It will open your eyes for a lot of folks, especially if you grew up like in a middle class kind of neighborhood and things. It just learn those stories, understand the people that you get to meet, be open and appreciate each other.
Yeah, you may know he's going to be our keynote speaker at the Mental Health Marketing Conference on opening night. It's going to be at Franklin Theater. We're going to do this big opener. We're going to pack it out. I would love to talk with you.
That dude is awesome.
He's awesome. I can't sing
cool.
Reggie's praises enough. Talk about authenticity, and he's just going to take that stage and own it, and he just speaks from the heart.
Well, the intelligence of that man.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
just reading his book, like, good God, this guy's
It's the
got
way
it.
he delivers it too. Like he's
Yeah.
an artist, and I feel like he delivers his words in such a way that it's just the way it hits you. It's just so powerful.
He's thought about it
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thought
Very
all
well
the
thought
way
out.
through it.
all the way through. It's impressive.
Oh, I'm so glad you're reading his stuff. That's awesome. Well, that's it for today. Thank you, John. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Sarah. And we'll see you next time.